hopefully once you guys get in there?
I don't know. I just think, you know, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really
when he called Canelo out, because you got to remember, Bud called Canelo out. So he must see something in order for him to get that win. And he know he can win. So like I said before, it's our job to get into that.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez have never liked each other, but now things have escalated. The tension between them has been building for months, and their heated argument at the airport today was just the latest outburst in a rivalry that's only getting worse. It shows just how big this fight is going to be.
Biggest fight in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond.
They haven't even fought yet, but the fact that they had to be separated shows exactly where things are headed. This is now being talked about seriously among professionals, so let's catch up on everything that's led to this point.
I have Canelo. Canelo's more comfortable at 168. He's going to fight again for undisputed for a second time at 168, so this is nothing uncomfortable to him. Terence Crawford's a great fighter, and of course we're starting to see that he can probably make 168 naturally, but again, it's a different division. 147, 168, two different divisions.
It has been clear from the beginning that Canelo doesn't take Crawford seriously. He doesn't see him as a real threat and has never been afraid to say it. According to Canelo, Crawford is too small, has never fought at higher weight classes, and is overconfident after his big win against Errol Spence. One fight doesn't make you great, he said again and again. To Canelo, this is just another day at the office. But once they're in the ring, he might not know how to handle what's coming, and it'll show.
Fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo. But what's his options? I mean, like, you know, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? You know, Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, his excellency wants to make that fight, so guess we could.
Crawford, on the other hand, sees things very differently. He's been waiting for this chance for years. He's watched Canelo's reflexes slow down and noticed moments of exhaustion in recent fights. To Crawford, Canelo is no longer the same fighter. He's openly said that Canelo has been avoiding real threats, handpicking easier fights to protect his legacy, while dodging fighters like David Benavidez. Crawford believes he's the one who will expose Canelo, not just beat him, but embarrass him. And after today, their rivalry has reached another level. This isn't just talk anymore. Still fired up from their near altercation, Crawford didn't hold back. I won't let him disrespect me. If he thinks he can scare me, he's got another thing coming. There were no promoters around. No cameras trying to hype the fight. Just raw frustration spilling out. He's had enough of Canelo's dismissive attitude, and enough of being treated like an outsider in the sport. For Crawford, this fight is already personal, and that's exactly how he plans to fight it.
And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
Crawford's move up to 150 pounds was always expected to shake up boxing, but with a clash against Canelo Alvarez now looming, the stakes have never been higher. After becoming a full-weight world champion by narrowly defeating Israel Madrimov last August, Crawford proved he could hold his own against bigger fighters. But now, he's aiming for an even greater challenge, jumping all the way to 168 pounds to face the undisputed king of the division. At 37, time isn't on his side. This could be one of the final fights of his career, and he knows it. That's why he's made it clear, if he's going out, it's going to be on his own terms, against the biggest name possible.
Who can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov is a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ.
It for years, even before Crawford himself entertained the idea that Bud's style is a nightmare for Canelo. I always thought that his style versus Canelo. I think he beats Canelo, Stevenson said, doubling down on his opinion that Crawford has all the tools to make this a
nightmare for Canelo. Stevenson said, I always thought his style beats Canelo.
It's a bad idea. Shocker Stevenson, who has sparred countless rounds with Crawford, has been one of the strongest voices backing him. He's been saying it.
Once he moved up to 140, they like, oh, he don't punch his hardest. He punched at 140. Yeah. But you're moving up in weight, so for me to do it in 3 different weight classes at 27 years old, it just makes it so much better. And I understand the sport of boxing. I understand that at 135, the guys is bigger, stronger, tougher. So they're not able to walk through me. Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford. So
it's a bold claim, but Stevenson isn't just hyping up a friend. He knows firsthand what Crawford brings to the ring. He's seen his speed, his effortless stance switching, and most importantly, his underrated power. I don't think Canelo just walks through his punches, he said. Terence can punch, and that goes for any weight class. That last point is key. Crawford might be smaller, but he's not coming into this fight as some light-hitting technician trying to survive. He's stepping in fully believing he can hurt Canelo, and that belief changes everything.
If they do fight Cole, how do you see it going?
If they do fight, I told you I think that Bud outboxes him. I think he's going to use his leg, keep Canelo on the outside and make it an easy night.
Got you.
Dmitry Bivol, the man who already handed Canelo a loss at 175, sees a clear path for Crawford to do the same. But he's quick to point out, it's not just about skill. Speaking from experience, Bivol said the biggest challenge will be how Crawford handles the jump to 168. He needs to get used to the power and pressure at that weight. It's a big change, Bivol warned, and that's the biggest question surrounding this fight. Will Crawford's timing, sharpness, and punching power still hold up when facing a naturally bigger and stronger opponent?
Of course, it was about the size of Crawford. Is it okay for him to move up for 2 weight classes? Yeah, and he has very good skill. He able to win this fight. But there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He need to get used to the power and pressure of 168. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself on the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able, he has good skills,
Bivol believes it's possible, but he also warns that physical adjustment alone won't be enough. It's not only about getting used to the power, it's about being mentally ready. He said that, he admits, is something Crawford has never lacked. Throughout his career, he's fought with a chip on his shoulder, constantly proving people wrong. But this time, the doubts are louder than ever. The boxing world isn't just questioning his skill, they're questioning whether he even belongs in the same ring as Canelo, and if that doesn't fuel him, nothing will. Interview 10. David Benavidez, the man many believe should be facing Canelo, has his eyes closely on this matchup. He sees it as one of the most exciting and meaningful fights in years. This will be a fight for the ages, Benavidez said. Canelo, with his experience, skill, and ability to adjust, and Crawford, with his versatility and technique, have the potential to create an all-time classic.
Canelo or Crawford in the fight, how do you think the fight goes?
It goes Crawford will try to keep on the distance Canelo, but also just to keep...
Benavidez understands the contrast in styles better than most. He knows Canelo is a master of controlled aggression, picking his shots, staying calm, and breaking opponents down. But he also respects Crawford's ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw, create angles, and make opponents miss. It'll come down to who can impose their style, and who can adapt on the fly, he said. That's what makes this fight so unpredictable. Both men are elite at adjusting, but only one will be able to take control when it matters most.
Throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight, you know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you. But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and after this fight, what else are they gonna say? You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it shouldn't be. It should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, you know, I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, you know, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But, you know, I see that weight class, you know, I want to become champion. I want
better than most. He knows Canelo is a master at controlled aggression, picking his shots and breaking opponents down. But he also respects Crawford's ability to switch between.
An outsider to the division, get the shot he's been waiting for. He knows that whoever wins this fight will likely become the face of boxing, at least for a while.
On the fly, he said.
But he also knows
that's what makes this fight so unpredictable. Both men are elite at adjusting, but only one will be able to take control when it counts.
But I'm ready for any of them. I won't back down from any challenge. And then there's Ryan Garcia, whose words hit the boxing world like a bomb.
Between orthodox and southpaw, creating angles and making his opponents miss, it'll be about who can impose their style and who can change on.
What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh wow, that high! I thought you were gonna say like 25.
Well, I mean, no, Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's gonna fight Canelo for a long time. And you know, Crawford he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So, you know, Crawford, when he has with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time, you know, you have a puncher's chance, and you could, you know, you definitely, you know, make the other guy uncomfortable or hurt him a couple times. So, yeah, Crawford is a really good fighter. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins.
Wow, okay. I don't know if a lot of people are picking that, but obviously...
There was no fear in Ryan Garcia's tone when he sat down with Akin and Barak on the Ring Champs podcast. He didn't just predict a Canelo win, he completely dismissed Crawford as a serious threat. He can't beat Canelo, Garcia said, shaking his head as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. He didn't even look that strong against Madrimov, and Madrimov isn't even that good. That last part stung. Crawford had narrowly defeated Israel Madrimov in his last fight, but Garcia saw nothing in that performance that suggested Crawford could move up and handle someone like Canelo. With his size, power, and championship experience, according to Garcia, Canelo has all the advantages, and he made sure everyone heard it.
Canelo and Crawford, what do you think?
That's going to be a great fight too. I can't believe they made that happen. See, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really...
But then you have James Toney, the former world champion who fought across middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight, and he doesn't see size as a problem for Crawford. While Garcia focuses on physicality, Toney sees skill.
Terence Crawford, with that intense gaze of his, throws down the gauntlet at Gervonta Tank Davis. It was pure fireworks. Crawford didn't waste a breath.
That's not something
he wanted Davis in the ring.
Especially about a fighter like Canelo. But Toney didn't back down. Canelo is a good fighter, he said. But he's not on Crawford's level.
Crawford has the skill and IQ to win. Canelo is too strong, but would go for Bud just for the upset money. So my problem with that, that take is this. I hate when in a fight, when the physically weaker guy has to rely on their IQ and skills more.
That one line said it all. Toney sees a version of himself in Crawford, a slick, smart, multidimensional fighter who can dismantle even the most dangerous punches. If Toney believes Crawford would win easily, it means he sees Crawford's skill set as far too advanced for Canelo to handle. He's not worried about size. He's not worried about power. He's only focused on who has the better tools in the ring, and to him, that's clearly Crawford. And as if things weren't heated enough already, Floyd Mayweather Jr. stepped in and made sure his voice was the loudest. As always, Mayweather wasn't interested in being polite or neutral. In an interview with Fight Hype, he went straight for the jugular. "You can take a guy like Canelo," Mayweather began, pausing for effect, to be continued.
Like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend.
Mayweather has never bought into the hype surrounding Canelo Alvarez. "I'll tell the truth about Canelo. The guy was easy. A cakewalk." Easy, Mayweather said. That wasn't just confidence. It was a direct statement from Mayweather that Canelo, the undisputed king at 168 pounds, the man who's beaten everyone from GGG to Caleb Plant, was nothing special when they fought. "You're all praising this dude," Mayweather continued. "He was nothing. I was almost 40, and I cooked this guy. Easy." But that was more than just a dig at Canelo. It was Mayweather drawing a straight line from himself to Crawford. His logic? If he could school Canelo at nearly 40 years old, then why wouldn't a younger, fresher, and just as skilled Terence Crawford be able to do the same? Mayweather didn't stop there. He made it crystal clear who he believes is the best fighter in the world right now. "As of right now, I put Terence Crawford as number 1, pound for pound." And coming from the undefeated legend who dominated boxing for over 2 decades, that statement carried serious weight. He wasn't just saying Canelo's great, he was saying Crawford is better. But if there's one voice that might carry even more weight in this specific fight, it's Shawn Porter's. Unlike Garcia, Tony, or even Mayweather, Porter has actually been in the ring with Crawford. He's felt Bud's power, speed, and skill firsthand. And what he had to say should make anyone betting against Crawford think twice.
Canelo's gonna walk him down. Crawford is gonna do a lot of defense. Now, if he pulls off that win, dude, that's gonna be one of the most biggest, upsets of all time.
Crawford is exactly as good as you think he is, Porter told TalkSport Boxing, his voice steady with the certainty of experience. He gave Crawford a compliment that went far beyond typical fight night respect. "I'll tell you what separates him from everybody else, he has it. Physically, he puts in the work. He's everything you want in a fighter. But he has that added component, he's the strongest and most courageous man I've ever shared a ring with." That's not something you hear often in boxing. Fighters praise each other all the time, but to say someone is the strongest and most courageous opponent you've ever faced, that's rare. That's next level, and that's exactly why Porter believes Crawford can beat Canelo. "I do believe he can beat Canelo," he said, sounding more confident with every word. "I think the timing is perfect for both of them. Canelo's got enough miles on the clock that he could break down over 10 rounds, and it could be Terence's fight. That last point is crucial. While many observers focus on size, weight, and power, Porter sees something else: timing. Yes, Canelo is a beast at 168 pounds. Yes, he's the undisputed champion. But he's also been through wars, his trilogy with GGG, the loss to Bivol, and battles with Kovalev, Plant, Saunders, and Charlo. All of those fights take a toll, and Porter believes that toll might be enough to tip the fight in Crawford's favor.
A man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do.
Crawford, on the other hand, is coming into this fight fresh. He's not battle-worn. He doesn't carry the same wear and tear, and if he can drag Canelo into deep waters, into the later rounds, and force him to work every second, Porter believes that's where Crawford will take over. But Porter's not alone in thinking that size isn't everything. Joe Rogan doesn't buy the narrative that Canelo Alvarez has some overwhelming edge over Terence Crawford. While most of the boxing world focuses on the weight jump, Rogan sees the fight from a different angle. For Rogan, it's not about size, it's about skill. And he believes Crawford has more than enough of it to hold his own inside the ring. Speaking on the Joe Rogan Experience alongside Antonio Brown, Rogan pushed back on the idea that Canelo's size would be too much for Crawford. "You know why I'm excited?" he asked. Terence Crawford and Canelo, that's the one. A lot of people think Terence is too small. But he weighed in the other day at 185 pounds. Rogan pointed out that right there is a game changer. People look at Crawford and assume he's a small guy because he's fought at 147 and 150 pounds. But the truth is, when he's not cutting weight, he walks around much bigger than people realize. If Crawford is already walking around at 185 pounds naturally, then moving up to face Canelo at 168 isn't nearly as drastic as it sounds. He just won the 154-pound title, Rogan explained. Before that, he was fighting at welterweight, which is 147. But it's not like he doesn't have the time to put on a little weight. And that's the key. Crawford isn't rushing into this fight. He's taking his time, allowing his body to naturally adjust. This isn't some reckless jump where he shows up undersized and overmatched. By the time the fight happens, he could be just as strong, just as durable, and just as effective as ever. More than anything, Rogan emphasized that boxing isn't just about size. It's about skill, and if you ask most boxing purists, Crawford is about as complete a fighter as they come. His record, 41 wins, 0 losses, 31 knockouts, speaks volumes.
Big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy.
No one has figured Crawford out. No one has even come close to beating him, and if there's one thing that holds true across all combat sports, it's this: elite skill can often neutralize size. The real challenge for Canelo isn't just that Crawford is skilled, it's that he's different. He's a switch hitter. A master of controlling distance. A fighter who adapts mid-fight better than almost anyone in the sport. Against Israel Madrimov, he showed just how versatile he is, dominating a naturally bigger opponent with movement, timing, and precision. Canelo, meanwhile, still has work to do before this super fight even becomes official. He's scheduled to face William Skull on May 3rd. And while most expect him to win, boxing has delivered bigger upsets before. If Canelo gets past Skull, then the stage is set: Crawford versus Canelo, size versus skill, power versus precision, and in Rogan's view, this is a much closer fight than people realize. So how do you see it going? Rogan asked. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.
Going with Terence Crawford, you know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo.